Hi everyone, Daisy here again with another layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict Cut Files design team. Today I'm using two cut files. The first one is called Shelves, and it was from the November 15th release. And then I'm also using one called Build a Lights cut file, which is a little bit older of one, I think from last Christmas. And I'm combining the two. So in my Silhouette software, what I did is I traced each one of the cut files, sized it to what I needed it to be, and then I strung the lights over the bottom of each of the shelves to look at like there are Christmas lights hanging from the shelves. And then I welded it so that it would cut together. So if you don't know, in Silhouette Studio, weld will take two cut files and make them one so that it doesn't cut out all of the cut lines. Anywhere where they're overlapping, it won't cut that apart, so they'll stay as one. And then all I'm doing is using some Shimmers products here and painting in all of the kind of details of the cut file. I'm using a bunch of different colors in greens and some golds and some purples, just because I wanted it to look kind of realistic, like things you would have on your shelf anyhow. And then I'm also going to color or paint in all of the lights. So with the Build a Lights cut file, you have the option of, so she has the bulbs as separate cut files, so you could cut out each one of the bulbs and then glue them on top, or you can just kind of do what I'm doing and paint in the bulbs. So I chose to color them in. And then I also altered the shelves cut file and took out some of the inside cut pieces because I didn't want to back everything. So like the paintbrush actually is an outline, and I took out the inside portions of the paintbrush and also the ruler because I wanted them to be solid so that I could paint them. So I also took the pieces out of the flowers and the plant just so that they would be a solid piece instead of having like all of the little petals that that are cut out and everything, because I didn't want to back the cut file. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going through and painting everything. I'm using a red, yellow, blue, green for my lights, and then I'm using a silver to paint the wire. Now this one that I'm painting right now, I did not pay attention to how thin it was going to end up being because I shrunk it down so much, and it did come apart on my mat, but it's fine. On the layout it's fine. You can't even tell. I just stuck it back together and it looks perfectly fine. But that is something to be aware of when you are changing the size of a cut file, is if it's making the cut file more delicate or having thinner areas, that it might not cut out quite as well. So just be aware of that. Again, just painting around everything, making it look like things I would actually have on my shelf. Now I'm going to go through and paint all the spines of the books here, because what I was planning on doing is backing all of the books. However, I realized I didn't leave space for my pictures to go. So what I'm going to end up doing is covering the books with my pictures, and it actually works out really well. So just going to finish painting all of these. I did cut these on some thicker white cardstock. The cardstock is called Sweet Tooth, and I get it from Cardstock Warehouse. And it is 100-pound paper, so it's really a thick, good quality paper. I did not gesso this at all, so it's not prepared at all, but it takes the watercolors really well. So here is kind of my finished painted items. Just trying to pick out my background paper, and I'm going to end up going with this pink one because I felt like the other ones were too busy and you couldn't quite see everything. And unfortunately, this paper doesn't have a perforation on it, so I had to kind of guess where to cut it off to make it 12 inches. but it works out fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around a couple of the items. So the shelves, I'm going to use this paper here. This is wood veneer paper in birch, and I am basically cutting them out so that I can cover up the white portion. I was not very good at coloring in the lines, so I'm just going to cover it all up, and then you can't even see. And I'm using my giant scissors for some reason. Like, it probably would have been smarter to use my little fussy cutting scissors, but whatever. It's fine. Turns out fine. And then I'm using some, I think, silver glitter cardstock to back that flower pot, because I had painted it silver, so then I'm backing it with silver glitter. I'm going to use that copper paper that you see there to back the other pot, plant pot, because to make it look like terracotta, kind of. And here's where you can see I'm just going to cover that up. And then you can't see my mistakes, so woohoo! I'm going to use this silver mirror paper to make that little frame into a mirror. Thought that was kind of clever. I was thinking about making it into a picture frame, but I didn't have any pictures that small. Like, that's tiny, so nope. I'm just going to make it into a mirror. And then here's where I'm using that copper paper. And then I'm going to back the lamp with some parchment paper. So it's kind of see-through, but kind of not, kind of like a lampshade would be. I know not that specific kind of lamp. Usually those are made out of metal or something, but whatever. It works. And I didn't do a very good job tracing, so I had to keep kind of slicing down a little bit at a time until I got it to fit. I really love how that plant turned out. Like, I really like it a lot, so. Almost finished backing this, and then we'll be ready to go. So if you haven't already, you should head on over to Facebook. I will have links down below to the Facebook group for the Confessions of a Paper Addict. That's where you're going to find out about sales, find other inspiration from the design team members, where you can interact with other people who are, you know, cut file crazies like we are, and, you know, just find out great information and get some support. And if you have any questions, it's a great place to ask. So I will have a link down below for that, as well as to the Etsy shop. And you definitely want to keep an eye out there, because there's going to be some amazing things added very shortly. So you don't want to miss out. So just adhering that top set of lights there. And then I'm going to put, so I already stuck down that lower shelf, and then I couldn't really figure out where I was going to put this middle shelf, or the top shelf, until I adhered those other lights, because I didn't want it to be too high. And so just sticking that down. I wish I had cut back some of the books once I decided that I was going to kind of be covering them up. However, I didn't, so you're going to see me in a little bit here try to cut some of them back and come up with creative ways of covering them up. Also off camera, I used a pen and colored in the bristles of the paintbrush, as well as added lines to the ruler. And now here I'm just trying to figure out where my extra little pieces are supposed to go, the ones that came off on my mat. I had painted them all in the correct order, and then I couldn't remember what order they were supposed to be in. So then I had to kind of look back and figure out the pattern that I did with the colors of the lights. And there was a little piece missing, just like a little sliver of the wire, so they don't completely touch, but that's alright. I'm going to cover it up with a sticker. So. And then I have these two pictures from last year of us putting up our tree. the bottom picture is us putting the tree up, and then the next day we decorated it. I think it was the next day we decorated it, because we couldn't find our Christmas lights or something like that, or there was a box missing. So yeah, we had to wait. And again, I'm just backing these with some pattern paper. It just has a really light stripe pattern on it. The same colors that I painted the lights. And it was just a little scrap of paper I had on my desk anyway, so and I'm going to pop these photos up. My bottom photo is a little bit larger than I was hoping for, or I think I put my shelves closer together than I originally was expecting to, so it kind of hangs off the shelf a little bit, but it's fine. And then I'm going to fussy cut out one of these presents that was in one of these pattern papers to cover up those books and the mirror. And I was going to try to cut another present out. However, they all had like these dainty little bows on top, and I tried cutting one off. Excuse me. Sorry, I keep yawning. I tried cutting one off, and it just looked weird, so I don't end up using that. Instead, I flipped through a bunch of my little scrap pieces of paper and things and come up with this mason jar. That is from the Snow and Cocoa collection, like a 6x6 paper, and I fussy cut it out, and so it's just going to be a little embellishment or decoration sitting on my shelves. And then I have this Christmas tree rubber charm that I took off of the paper clip it was on. And so here you're going to see me trim down these books, and I was just like, oh, I should have done this before I glued it down. That would have been the smart thing to do, but I did not think of it then. So and so I'm just going to try to place my embellishments over those mistakes. And you can see a little bit of it at the end, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. And I have this sticker sheet, and I'm pulling off these, what is it called? Mistletoe stickers. And I'm creating a little mistletoe cluster up there at the top. And I just cut a little piece of that glitter paper to hang my mistletoe from, and then I kind of skipped ahead because I wasn't sure what I was going to put over like the center area where all of the stickers meet. I think it looks icky, so I'm going to try to come up with something. I also pulled in a little truck sticker to add to my shelf, my top shelf. Then I'm going to add these little ornaments kind of around the shelves a little bit. They're kind of floating, but it's alright. I was using them to cover some mistake areas, so I'm okay with it. And there you saw my thinking fingers, trying to figure out how I could make a bow. And then I remembered I had these faux leather bows, and I still had a silver one left, so it was perfect. And then I'm going to work on my title. So, oh, I forgot to mention, this is also for the 12 days of Christmas that Christy and I are doing, and we are doing Christmas music. I almost forgot. And today's song is Deck the Halls, so I'm going to call this Deck the Halls and then add Fa La 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 to the bottom. And I thought I wanted my title there, but I don't like it, so I'm going to move it up to the top, and then along the bottom light swag thing I'm going to put Fa La 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 La. I will leave a link down to Christy's channel as well, so you can check out what she created for today. I had to find some different thickers, some smaller ones to put down at the bottom. So they're not the exact same color gold as the ones at the top, but you can't tell because they're not together. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much going to be my layout. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it is much longer than my usual videos, but I left everything in. So they tend to be a little bit longer when I don't edit pieces out. But I want to thank you so much for watching. Again, check out all of the links below to the Confessions of a Paper Addict, or COAPA group, the Etsy shop, and also to Christy's channel to check out her 12 Days of Christmas song for today. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye!